I truly believe you have inside you a core genius. Some one thing that you love to do and do so well that you feel like charging people for it. Or you could hardly feel like charging people for it. It's effortless and for you and a whole lot of fun. And if you could make money doing it, you make it your life's work. I mean, that's the reality. Successful people believe this too. That's why they put their core energy first. They focus on it and delegate everything else to other people on their team. Compare that to other people in the world that go through life doing everything, even those tasks that they're bad at. It could be done more cheaply, better, and faster by someone else. They can't find the time to focus on their core genius because they fail to delegate even the most menial tasks to other people. Sometimes they don't trust other people, and that's a big, big thing. When you delegate the grunt work, the things that you hate doing, and those tasks that are so painful, you end up putting them off. You're concentrating on what you love to do. You free up your time so you can be more productive, and you enjoy life a lot more. Trust me. So why is delegating routine tasks and unwanted projects so difficult for those people? Most people are simply afraid to give up control and reluctant to spend the money to pay for help. Deep down, most people are simply do not want to let go. They need control in their lives. Others, possibly you, have simply fallen into the habit of doing everything for yourself. It's too time-consuming to explain to someone else. I've used that one myself. You say, I can do it more quickly and better myself. But can you really? Look at it this way. If you're a professional earning £125 per hour and you pay a neighbourhood kid £10 per hour to cut the grass, you save the effort of doing it yourself at the weekend and can gain an extra hour when you could profit by £115. Of course, though, 1 hour doesn't seem like much, but multiplying that at least by 20 weekends in the spring and the summer, and you'll discover you've actually gained hours at 20 hours a year, which is an extra £2,300 in potential earnings. Wow, if you put it like that. Similarly, if you're a real estate agent, you need to list houses, gather information and multiple listings, attend open houses, do showings, put keys in letterboxes, write offers, make appointments, and if you're lucky, you'll even get to close a deal. But let's say that you're the best closer in the area. Why would you want to waste your time doing listings, doing lead generation, filling out tick boxes and lock boxes and making videos of property when you could have your staff and colleagues and assistants doing all that, thus freeing up your time to do more closing on deals? Instead of you doing just one deal a week, you could be doing at least three that you had delegated and that you were less good at. One of the strategies Jack Canfield uses to teach is making complete delegations. It simply means that you delegate one task and completely rather than having to delegate it each time it needs to be done. When he hires a gardener for his Santa Barbara estate, he says, I want the grounds to look more close like the grounds of the Four Seasons, but in Baltimore, using the budget I'm providing you with. When he goes to the Four Seasons, he doesn't have to check whether the trees need to be trimmed or the automatic sprinklers are working. Someone else is in charge of that. Well, he wants the same luxury at his home. With that as our operating principle, he says, here's the budget, take charge of the grounds. If I'm ever not happy, I'll let you know. And if I'm happy the second time, if I'm not happy the second time, I'll let someone else know. Does that feel like a workable agreement we could work towards? And his landscaper was in fact very excited. He knew he wouldn't be micromanaged, and he knew he wouldn't have to worry about it again. And he didn't. And it was a complete delegation. So when his niece came to stay with him a year ago, she attended a local community college where they made a complete delegation of the grocery shopping. We told her we could have limited use of the van and we'd buy groceries every week. We provided her a list of staples that they'd always want in the house, the eggs, the butter, the milk, the ketchup, and so on and so forth. And our job was to check every week and replace everything that was running low. In addition, His wife planned the meals and let her know when the items we wanted the main courses like fish, broccoli, avocados, and so on and so forth. The task was delegated once and saved them hundreds of hours a year that could be devoted to writing, exercise, family time, and recreation. The biggest mistake, remember, people make in life is not trying to make a living at what they most enjoy doing. Strategic coach Dan Sullivan once stated that all entrepreneurs are really con artists. They get other people to pay them to practice getting better at what they love to do. Think about it. Ron Howard, for example, loves to make movies. People pay him big money to make movies, but every time he works on a film, he learns more about directing, producing, and filmmaking. He gets to practice and hang out with other filmmakers, all while getting paid for it. Tony Robbins, a speaker and trainer. He loves speaking and training. He's arranged his life so that people are constantly paying him large sums of money to do what he loves to do. Or consider the baseball great, Miguel Cabrera of the Detroit Tigers. It takes him about 1 second to hit a home run. It takes as long as it takes for the ball to meet the actual bat. He earns $22 million for about 44 seconds of batting time per year. So he's gotten really good at making the bat meet the ball. That's where he makes his money. That's where he puts all his time and practices getting ready for the bat to meet the ball. He's found his core genius and devotes the majority of his waking hours to perfecting his genius of the bat meeting the ball. That's all he needs to do. Exactly like a football striker, exactly like a person in rugby that's a kicker. Everything, they concentrate on that all the time because that's where they're good at and that's what makes them the money. Of course, most of us are not on the par with Ron Howard or Anthony Robbins or Miguel Cabrera. But the fact is we could earn a lot more from their level of focus in doing what they do. Many salespeople, for example, spend most time on account administration that they do not pick up the phone and make sales, when they could hire a part-time administrator to do that and share the cost with the other salespeople to do this time-consuming work in detail. I talk about this all the time. If the printer in the office, for example, keeps playing up, why spend all your time and effort on trying to sort the printer when in actual fact you could be making more sales calls just by a new printer? That one sales call that you make could lead you to a commission of £3,000, £4,000, £5,000. And you're quibbling over a printer, it was £100. Most female executives spend too much time running their household when they could easily and inexpensively delegate the task to a cleaning service or part-time mother's helper, freeing themselves to focus on their career, of spending more time with their family as a result. Unfortunately, most entrepreneurs spend less than 30% of their time focusing on their core genius and their unique abilities. In fact, by the time they've launched a business, it often seems like entrepreneurs are doing everything but the one thing they should be doing for their business in the first place. Don't let this be your fate. Identify your core genius, then make the complete delegations to free up more time to focus on what you love to do, and you do well as a result of it. Remember, starting out to make money is the greatest mistake in life. Do what you have a flair for doing, and if you're good enough at it, the money will flow as a natural byproduct at what you do. Diana Wentworth is someone who is always focused on her core genius while following her heart and has been wildly successful as a result. Her greatest pleasure was always to be cooking something and gathering people around the table to share a deep level over food. She's always reaching for a deeper connection. It's what she calls a sense of celebration at the table. So she started her career writing books about how to give a party and do everything ahead of time so that you can actually present and connect more deeply with the people you actually invite. Then in May 1985, she went on a trip to the Soviet Union with a group of leaders in a human potential movement, where she noticed that for most of the part, these leaders were all loners. Even though they were quite well known for their books and their impact in the world, they didn't know each other. When she returned, she realised that her life purpose had always been more about about connection than food. She'd just used food as the catalyst to actually understand that. The realisation led her to create a book, The Inside Edge, and an organisation that hosted a weekly breakfast meetings in Beverly Hills, Orange County, San Diego, California, where nationally recognised people visit with a vision came together to share knowledge and wisdom on human potential, spiritually, consciousness, and world peace itself. Speakers included such as Mark Victor Hansen, Jack Canfield, motivational expert Tony Robbins, management and consultant Ken Blanchard, actor Dennis Weaver, counsellor Reverend Leo Booth, and authors Susan Jeffers and Dan McMillan. In addition to listening to inspirational speakers, participants would network, eat with each other, encourage each other to dream bigger, and support each other's projects. 18 years later, the Orange County chapter still continues to meet twice a month. Diana has gone on to write and co-authors numerous books, including Chicken Soup for the Soul Cookbook, once again integrating her love for food with her love for people, sharing ideas and wisdoms of stories. Don't ask what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and then do that. Because what the world needs is people that are more alive. And I'll see you tomorrow.